The slap lands before the sound finishes traveling. A flat, brutal crack fills the gym, bouncing off cracked mirrors and bare brick. Lil J's head snaps sideways. His feet tangle. He goes down hard palms, scraping the old wooden floor. The place smells of sweat and pine. Chalk dust floats in the dying light. A beat passes, then blood. It slides from Lil J's nose, slow and thin, and drops straight down. The red bead mixes with white chalk, turning a pale, ugly pink. Everything slows. Coach Otis Johnson stands 3 steps behind the boy. 72 years old. Broad shoulders slightly bowed by time. Gray beard trimmed close. His right hand trembles at his side the way it always does now, small, constant, never fully still. The tremor stops, not eases, stops. The air tightens like the room is holding its breath. No shuffling feet. No laughter. Even the old ceiling fan clicks once, then goes quiet. Otis stares at the blood. For half a heartbeat, it isn't wood beneath it. It's mud. Red mud. Heat. Noise. A voice screaming for a medic who never comes. He blinks. The gym comes back. King D stands over Lil J, fingers still loose, a crooked smile on his face. 5 men spread out behind him, blocking the exits. Lil J pushes up, fighting tears. He looks back at Otis. "Coach." His voice cracks. "I'm sorry." Otis doesn't answer right away. His jaw tightens. His breathing slows, deep, measured. 4 counts in, 4 held, 4 out. His hand stays perfectly still. He steps forward once and places himself between Lil J and King D. Not fast. Not angry. Just there. "Get behind me, son," Otis says quietly. Lil J hesitates, then scrambles back until his shoulders press against the heavy bag stand. King D chuckles low and amused. He looks around at the peeling paint. "This place," he says. "This little box." He taps his chest with 2 fingers. "I own half this block. Lawyers' properties, cash moving every hour." He looks back at Otis. "You standing in front of a business problem, old man?" And business problems get solved. One of the goons snorts. Another shifts his feet. A chain clinks softly. Otis lowers his eyes. Not in fear. In focus. He looks at the blood again. The metallic smell reaches the back of his throat. His lips move barely. "Lord," he whispers, voice rough but steady, "forgive me for what I am about to do." He opens his eyes. They are different now. Clear, cold, settled. No anger, no panic. Decision. The silence holds for one more breath. Then everything goes dark. If you think this is where the old man breaks, stay with him. Because what comes next is exactly what they never saw coming. 72 hours earlier. Monday morning comes early for a man who never learned how to sleep late. It's still dark when Otis Johnson stands in front of Hammer's boxing gym keys, resting heavy in his palm. The street is quiet. Storefront gates pulled down. No traffic, no voices. His right hand trembles. He lifts the key, misses the lock. He exhales, steadying himself. Tries again. Misses. On the 3rd try, the key slides home. Otis nods once, like he's satisfied with something more than just the lock, and turns it. The door creaks open. The smell hits him the same way it always does. Old wood, sweat, leather, time. 40 years of discipline soaked into the walls. He steps inside and closes the door behind him. For a moment, he just stands there. A small wooden cross hangs from a nail by the doorframe. Otis reaches up and touches it gently with 2 fingers, bowing his head. "Thank you for another morning," he whispers. "Keep my hands steady. Keep my heart clean." His hand trembles harder as he lowers it. In the back room, he pours a glass of water for his medication. The glass rattles against the counter. A little spills over the edge, running toward his fingers. Otis sighs. Not angry, just tired. He wipes the counter clean, takes the pills, and swallows. The tremor doesn't stop. He wipes the counter clean, takes the pills, and swallows. The tremor doesn't stop. It never does. Not from pills. Only when the world demands he becomes something else. At 6 o'clock on the dot, the door opens again. Lil J steps inside, backpack slung over one shoulder. The strap is frayed. His shoes are clean but worn thin at the soles. There are dark circles under his eyes. "Morning, coach." "Yes, sir." Otis answers automatically, habitual respect teaching tone, the same way he's spoken to every boy who's ever walked through this door. He looks Lil J up and down. "You early." Lil J shrugs. "Grandma working double shift again." Otis nods. "Hospital." "Yes, sir." Otis places a firm hand on the boy's shoulder. It's warm, steady. "She tell you to thank me again for letting you stay after school." Lil J ducks his head, embarrassed. "Yes, sir." "You tell her she don't need to." Otis's grip tightens just slightly, protective, not harsh. "This is your home too, son. Long as I'm breathing, you got a place here." Lil J's throat works. He nods, blinking hard. "Yes, sir." Otis lets go and steps back. "You eat some. That'll do for now." Otis gestures toward the ring. "Warm up. Rope first." Lil J drops his bag and starts skipping. The rope slaps the wood in a steady rhythm. Otis watches closely. "Elbow tight," he says. "Turn your hip. Power don't come from your arms. Comes from your feet. And your discipline." He catches the bag, stopping it dead. He looks Lil J in the eye. "And remember this. A soldier never fights for himself. He fights to protect. You understand?" "Yes, coach," Lil J whispers. "Good." Otis releases the bag. Discipline beats chaos every single time. Lil J adjusts. The rhythm improves. Despite the tremor, Otis's hands move with precision, correcting angles, straightening posture, guiding without force. At one point, Lil J notices a thin chain glinting beneath Otis's collar. "Coach." "What's that chain?" Otis lifts the collar, slightly shielding it without turning. "Old memories, son. Nothing you need to worry about. They work in silence after that. Bag, breath, footwork." On the wall behind them hangs a faded black and white photo. A younger Otis, broad-shouldered gloves up, standing beneath a sign that reads, "Marine Corps Boxing Champion, 1975. Otis doesn't look at it. At 3 o'clock, the door slams open. King D walks in with 3 men behind him. Clean shoes, sharp edges, money confidence, the kind that doesn't ask permission. He strolls around the gym like he's inspecting inventory fingers, brushing ropes, bags, benches. His shoes stop in front of a small table near the ring. A Bible rests there, worn, loved. King D picks it up, flips it once, then lets it drop. The thump echoes. Otis feels the tremor spike. "This place still open," King D says, smirking. "I'm surprised." Otis steps forward and lifts the Bible carefully. "This gym's been here 40 years. King D leans close, breath smelling faintly of cologne and arrogance. "Not without me, it ain't." He straightens. 5,000. By Friday. Otis swallows. "I don't have." King D raises a hand. "Everybody says that." His eyes flick to Lil J. Figure it out. Otis tightens his grip on the Bible. This is a house of God. King D smiles. Cold. Practical. God don't pay rent, Gramps. I do. He turns for the door, voice flat now, no humor left in it. Friday. Don't make me come back. You won't like how that ends. The door closes. Otis stands alone in the middle of the gym, Bible pressed to his chest. His hand trembles, but he doesn't drop it. Tuesday morning doesn't start with the streets. It starts with numbers. Otis sits alone at the small table in the back room of the gym. The wooden cross hangs above it. The light is thin, unforgiving. He empties an old envelope onto the table. Bills, worn, folded and refolded. Tens, 20s, a few singles that stick together. He counts once, then again, then a third time slower. $478. Otis exhales through his nose. His right hand trembles harder now, rattling the edge of the table. 5,000. He gathers the money back into the envelope with care, as if it deserves respect for trying. Slides it into the drawer. Closes it. For a long moment, he doesn't move. Then he reaches for his jacket. Tuesday comes heavy after that. Otis walks the block the way he always has, slow, respectful, head up. The tremor rides his right hand like a pulse he can't shut off. He knocks on doors he's known for decades. Mrs. Rodriguez answers first. 70-something. Hair wrapped tight. The door opens just enough for her eyes. Coach, she whispers. I'm so sorry. Her voice shakes. King D burned down Martinez's shop last month. Burned it clean. She swallows. We just can't. The door closes before Otis can answer. He stands there a moment listening to the deadbolt slide home. At the next house, Mr. Baker opens the door halfway. He used to train here. Used to bleed on Otis's mats. Coach Baker says eyes already drifting away. I got kids now. He rubs his hands together. I'll pray for you. I swear I will. Otis nods. That's all right. Baker doesn't meet his eyes. By Wednesday afternoon, Otis has heard every version of the same fear. Burned shops, broken legs, quiet warnings passed from mouth to mouth. Each time Otis thanks them. Each time his hand shakes a little more. Wednesday night, the gym is quiet. Otis sits in the small room behind the ring. Narrow bed, old dresser, the table with the cross. He pulls a yellowed-address book from the drawer. Pages soft with age. Names written in careful block letters. His finger stops on one. Deshaun Ray. He stares at it. Then he picks up the phone. Ring. Ring. A woman's voice answers flat and distant. The number you have dialed is no longer in service. Otis lowers the receiver slowly. On the table sits a framed photo. 8 young Marines in uniform arms slung over shoulders, smiling like the world hasn't found them yet. Beneath it, handwritten names. He leans in close. Sergeant Marcus Reaper, Cole KIA K-San, 1968. Sipil Lel, Deshaun Ray, 1948-2019. Otis touches the glass with the pad of his thumb. Guess it's just me now, Lord, he murmurs. Just me. He kneels. The tremor worsens, rattling through his arm as he bows his head. I walked your path 50 years, he whispers. I turned the other cheek. I did it the right way. His breath catches. But if they touch that boy, guide my hand. Please. Thursday afternoon, the noise comes first. Shouts, laughter, panic. Otis steps outside the gym and sees 2 of King D's boys circling a 12-year-old. One of them is dragging the kid by the arm. The other raises a foot, lining up a stomp. Hey, Otis says, moving fast. They turn annoyed, Relax, Gramps, one says. Lesson time. Otis sees it then. The angle, the leg about to come down, the sound that would follow. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out the envelope. Take it, he says. Now. His hand shakes so badly he drops a bill. Then another. $200. The foot never comes down. One of them laughs and pulls out a phone. Look at him shaking, he says, filming close. Scared to death. You gonna cry, old man? You gonna cry? The boy gets his shoes back and runs. Otis doesn't look up. His fingers close tight around the small wooden cross in his pocket. It clicks softly as he squeezes. For one brief second, something cold flashes behind his eyes. Then it's gone. Later, Lil J slips into the back room and shuts the door. He sits on the floor back against the bed, fists clenched. His jaw tightens. He blinks hard, forcing the heat out of his eyes. That's when he sees it. A metal chest under the bed. Green. Scarred. Heavy. A combination lock at the front. Coach Lil J calls. What's that? Otis appears in the doorway, sharper than usual. Old memories, son, he says. Things from another life. You don't need to worry about it. Lil J nods, but his eyes linger. That evening, the goons come back. One of them leans close. Boss said if you don't pay by tomorrow, he's taking the kid instead. He nods at Lil J. We know where his grandma works. Night shift, county hospital. Otis's hand goes still. Just for a second. His eyes lift, not to the man's face, but to his throat. The space beneath the jaw, the angle, the distance. A calculation flickers. Then Otis shudders and looks away. The tremor comes back harder than ever. Little J whispers, Coach. Otis doesn't answer. Friday is coming. Friday arrives without ceremony. 3 o'clock comes and goes, and the gym feels smaller than it ever has. Otis stands in the center of the room. Lil J is just behind him, close enough that Otis can feel the boy's breathing quick, shallow, trying to stay quiet. Otis's right hand trembles openly now. He doesn't try to hide it anymore. The metal door rattles. King D walks in first. 5 men follow, spreading out without being told. They know the routine. One of them, skinny restless, wears a crossbody bag tight to his chest. He already has his phone out, screen glowing. King D glances at him. Clips, record this. Clips taps the screen, a soft chime. His grin snaps into place. What's good, people, he says, voice bright, hungry. You know what time it is. Let's see how this old man handles pressure. Otis doesn't look at the phone. He keeps his eyes on King D. He reaches into his jacket slowly and pulls out an envelope. It's thin, too thin. Here, Otis says. His voice shakes, but the words don't. $478. That's everything I got. Every cent. Take it. Leave us be. King D takes the envelope and opens it. He doesn't rush. He counts each bill like it's entertainment. His smile fades. This it, he says. You serious? Otis nods once. That's all there is. King D laughs, not loud. Disappointed. He flicks his wrist and throws the money. Bills scatter across the floor, sliding under benches, sticking to chalk dust, like they're embarrassed to be seen. That won't even cover my patience, King D says. He nods to one of his men. The goon steps forward and grabs Lil J by the collar, yanking him out from behind Otis. Come on, the man says. You coming with us? Otis moves, but Lil J moves first. He twists his shoulders the way he's been drilled to. Elbow tight, hip turned, just like he was taught. The jab snaps out short, clean, straight down the middle. It lands square on the goon's nose. Blood bursts bright and sudden. The man yelps and staggers back, hands flying to his face. For half a second, chaos loses. Then King D explodes. He steps in and slaps Lil J hard. The sound cracks through the gym. Lil J's head snaps sideways. His feet leave the floor. He hits the wood and slides. Blood runs from his nose. It drips. One drop hits the floor. Otis sees it. The world tilts. Mud. Heat. Noise tearing the sky open. A young Marine in his arms, blood soaking through fatigues. Too much blood. Hands slick. Someone screaming for a medic who isn't coming. Otis's breath locks. Then the gym snaps back. His right hand slows. The tremor fades. Still. He watches his fingers curl into a fist. Veins stand out like wire beneath skin gone tight and pale. The room empties of sound. Only one thing remains. Thump, thump, thump. His heart. Otis closes his eyes and draws one long breath deep into his belly, the way he learned when panic meant death. Lord, he whispers, voice low and steady, now forgive me for what I am about to do. King D scoffs. What you gonna do, old man? Pray me to death. Otis opens his eyes. They are not the eyes from earlier. Not tired. Not afraid. Clear. Cold. Finished asking. My God is everywhere, Otis says, and he just gave me permission. King D snorts. Permission for what? Otis turns and walks to the door. Each step is measured. Deliberate. He reaches up and pulls the metal door down. It slams shut. He slides the old deadbolt into place. Metal on metal. Final. King D's smile freezes. Just for a second, his eyes flick to the lock, then to his men. They don't look back with the confidence he expects. Otis turns around. To lock that door, he says, and make sure none of you leave until this is finished. King D swallows. He forces a laugh. You threatening me? Otis shakes his head once. No. He meets King D's eyes and holds them. I'm making a promise. Silence stretches. Clips shifts his weight phone, shaking just enough to notice. Yo, y'all seeing this? He mutters more to himself now. King D straightens, chest puffing as fear turns to anger. Aight, he says. You just signed your death warrant, old fool. Otis doesn't respond. He rolls his shoulders once. His hand remains steady. Lil J groans on the floor. Coach. Otis doesn't look away from King D. Get up, son, he says quietly. Stay behind me. Lil J crawls back, pressing himself against the heavy bag stand. King D looks around the locked gym, the scattered money, the boy bleeding on the floor. All this, he says, forcing the grin back for a dusty little gym. Otis answers, without raising his voice. For a child. The phone light burns brighter as Clips adjusts his angle, and somewhere deep inside Otis, the last line in the sand disappears completely. King D gives the nod. Not dramatic, not loud, just enough. The biggest of the remaining men steps forward, iron bar hanging loose in his right hand. He doesn't rush. He swings wide, confident, aiming to crush ribs and end it fast. Otis moves. Not backward, not away. He pivots 45 degrees, weight rolling clean from heel to toe. His head slips just off the line of the swing. No counter. No anger. The bar cuts nothing but air. The man stumbles past him, off balance, shocked more than hurt. For half a second, the room freezes. Someone laughs, unsure. Yo. The old man can move. King D snaps, irritation boiling over. What you waiting for? He jabs a finger forward. Rush him. Otis doesn't run. He takes one slow step back, then another. Each step is deliberate. He's not retreating. He's measuring. Distance. Angles. Where bodies fall. He slides his jacket off his shoulders and lets it drop to the floor. Something dull and metallic catches the fluorescent light against his chest. 2 small plates. Dull silver. Worn smooth by time. Dog tags. They sway once, then settle. Clips' phone zooms in without him realizing it. Yo, he mutters, half to the stream, half to himself. What's that? Military tags. Otis doesn't answer. King D glances toward the windows, impatience creeping in. Break those, he barks. Get an exit. 2 of the men rush the side windows, smashing glass with elbows and chairs. Shards explode across the mats, raining down onto the ring apron. Noise fills the gym, panic noise, escape noise. In that chaos, they stop watching Otis. They think he's stalling, or praying, or scared. They are wrong. Otis reaches down beside the ring apron to the space he's kept clear for years and drags out the green metal chest that's been there the whole time. It scrapes across the wood with a low, final groan. No one stops him. Why would they? He's an old man, unarmed, finished. Otis opens the chest. Inside are cotton hand wraps once white, now darkened by sweat and old stains. Canvas, thick, practical, honest. He pulls them out and sets them on his thigh. Then, without looking up, his other hand reaches down and closes around a 10-kilogram weight plate resting near the ring. One of the men at the window laughs halfway out the frame. Ain't nobody scared of the weight leaves Otis's hand. No wind-up, no warning. It slams into the man's knee mid-climb. The sound is wrong, wet, final. The scream comes immediately as the man collapses back inside, clutching his leg body, folding in on itself. Silence snaps tight. Clips, gasps, phone shaking. Why, did y'all just see that Otis doesn't look at him? He places the weight back on the floor. Then he begins to rap. The cloth slides over skin with a dry rasp. Around the knuckles, across the wrist, back again. The tremor is gone. His breathing is slow, even. 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out. For Marcus, he murmurs. Rap. For Deshaun. Rap. For the brothers I couldn't save. Rap. And for the boy I can. Each loop tightens something deeper than his hands. Resolve. Permission. Memory. The dog tags rest against his chest, now barely moving. Clink. Clink. Across the room, one man still bleeds from his nose, fear leaking faster than blood. Another writhes on the floor near the window, clutching a knee that will never carry him into a fight again. That leaves 3 men still standing. 3. King D turns back, face tight now. What the hell you doing, Clips? You getting all this? Clips swallows hard. Yeah, boss. I got it. His voice drops. But something ain't right about this dude. Shut up and record, King D roars. World gonna see what happens to people who disrespect me. Otis finishes the final loop, tests the wraps once. Solid. He rolls his shoulders. The ropes creak softly behind him. In his mind, decades fall into alignment. Peace was a gift he gave them for 40 years. A choice. A discipline. War. War was the work he trained for. The work he prayed he'd never have to do again. King D Point's voice cracking through rage. All 3 of you rush him. Now. The men hesitate just a fraction too long. Bat, blade, chain, 3 angles, 3 mistakes waiting to happen. Otis steps forward. Clink, the tags touch. He closes his eyes for one last breath. When he opens them, the softness is gone. The man standing there is no longer just Coach Otis. This is Gunnery Sergeant Johnson. And the preparation is complete. The first swing comes from behind. Otis hears it before it exists. The scrape of rubber on wood, the shift of weight. The breath pulled too deep by a man who thinks size is enough. Iron cuts the air. Otis doesn't turn. He ducks deep clean, a boxer's slip drilled into muscle memory long before gray ever touched his beard. His knees bend. His spine folds just enough. The world narrows to sound and timing. The iron bar skims over his head and smashes straight into the face of the man charging from the front. The impact is sickening. Bone gives way. Teeth scatter across the floor like dice. The second man collapses in a heap unconscious before his body finishes falling. Time fractures. Otis pivots 90 degrees on the ball of his foot. Not rushed, not wide, perfect economy of motion. He is already facing the man with the bar. His left hand shoots out, not a jab, a hook, short, vicious. It buries into the soft space below the ribs. Liver shot, explosive, devastating. The man's eyes go glassy. His breath leaves him in a soundless rush. He folds exactly where he stands, knees kissing wood hands, clawing at air that won't come back. Clink. The dog tags swing once. The third man screams and lunges with a knife, desperation replacing confidence. Otis steps inside the blade, catches the wrist mid-strike. Twist, lock, sharp, precise pressure. There is a wet pop as the joint fails. The knife hits the floor before the man's brain understands what happened. Otis shoves him aside without looking and slips again peekaboo style, letting a wild punch whistle past his ear. His right hand rises from the floor like it has been waiting for this moment for decades. Uppercut. Clean. Vertical. Final. The man's feet leave the ground. For a heartbeat, he is weightless. Then gravity remembers him. He crashes face first into the mat and does not move. Clink, clink, clink. 8 seconds. 3 grown men lie broken across the gym floor. The silence afterward is worse than the violence. Clips staggers backward, phone still rolling. His breath is loud, now panicked. The mic catches everything. Yo. Yo. What the Otis stands in the center of the room. He is not breathing hard. Not even close. His stance is perfect, front hand, high, rear hand, protecting his chin, elbows, tight feet, grounded, balanced, ready. The tremor is gone. Not suppressed. Gone. When he speaks, the voice that comes out isn't old. It's solid, clear, forged. You boys didn't walk into a gym, Otis says. You walked into a kill zone. King D stumbles back, slipping on chalk dust and fear. Sweat pours down his face. His eyes jump from body to body, searching for movement that doesn't come. Who? He swallows hard. Who the hell are you? Otis doesn't answer. The gym flickers. A younger man stands in a Marine Corps ring, shoulders squared, gloves raised. His opponent hits the canvas hard. A cheap microphone screeches. Marine Corps middleweight champion 1975. Otis Hammer Johnson applause. Boots stomping, another flash. Vietnam, jungle heat, close quarters, no room to run. Otis moves through bodies like a ghost, hands, elbows, knees. 2 enemies drop before either hits the ground. Another flash. A medal pinned to his chest. Bronze star. He stands at attention. No smile. Only weight. Then the gym returns. Otis reaches up and pulls his collar open wider. Dog tags glint under the flickering lights. A long scar runs from shoulder to chest, jagged, pale, honest. King D's voice cracks. Who Who the hell are you? Otis meets his eyes. 2 seconds pass. Just a coach protecting his student. That ain't no coach move. King D shouts, voice climbing. You military, you, I gave you chances. Otis cuts in calm as stone. You didn't take them. He points, not threatening, precise. A soldier never fights for himself, he says. Then he glances at Lil J, still shaking by the heavy bags. That's what I taught him. He looks back at King D. But when you threaten my flock, Otis continues, voice dropping lower, when you spill innocent blood in God's house. Silence. I don't become the sheep anymore. Another beat. I become the wolf that guards them. Clips swallows so hard the mic catches it. Boss, maybe we should shut up. King D roars, backing away, rage cracking through terror. He's one old man. We got numbers. We got guns. The word lands. Gun. King D's hand drops to his waistband. Otis sees the movement before it becomes intention, before fear finishes its sentence. King D yanks the pistol free and levels it. Numbers don't mean nothing to a bullet old man. Bang. Otis is already gone. He rolls behind the heavy bags as the shot shatters a light overhead. Glass explodes. Darkness swallows the gym. The echo lingers. Then nothing. No footsteps. No breathing. No answers. Just the faint clink, clink of dog tags somewhere in the dark. Otis's voice comes from nowhere and everywhere at once. Now you're fighting on my terms, he says softly. A pause. Welcome to the jungle. If you agree with this truth, don't mess with veterans, share this. The power dies with a hard click. Not a flicker. Not a warning. Gone. The gym sinks into darkness, thick and immediate. Moonlight spills through shattered windows in pale, broken stripes. Smoke from the small fire curls low, not choking yet, just enough to blur edges, soften shapes. The fire hasn't taken the room. Not yet. It blocks the main door. That's all. Clips turns in a slow circle, phone held out like a charm against the dark. The livestream light shakes across his face, sweat and fear blown wide for the world to see. Yo, I can't see nothing, he whispers. Boss, where you at? No answer. Then a voice rises from the shadows. Calm, measured, unhurried. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. The words don't come from one place. They drift, bounce, settle into the walls. Clips spins, pointing the phone wildly. The camera catches nothing but smoke and empty space. King D fires. The gunshot tears through the room, deafening in the dark. Sparks jump where the bullet bites steel. Otis is already gone. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. The voice comes again. Closer this time, or maybe farther. King D can't tell. Another shot. Then another. Bullets punch holes into bags and walls. Chalk dust bursts into the air like ghosts. Otis moves through the smoke the way he once moved through jungle fog, slow, patient, knowing it hides him better than any wall. The last goon, the one with the broken nose, staggers backward, wiping blood from his face, eyes wide and wild. He's playing with us, the man whispers. I can hear him. The rope catches his ankle. He goes down hard, breath knocked clean out of him. Otis steps in from the side before the scream finishes forming. He drags the man up by the collar and drives him backward, cutting angles, steering him the way a boxer steers a tired opponent, step by step, toward the corner of the ring. Corner cutting, no escape. The man swings once, clumsy, desperate. Otis slips inside, jab to blind, cross to break balance, hook to end it. The man collapses against the ropes and slides down unconscious. Otis kneels, fingers finding the pulse at the man's neck. Still there. Stay down, Otis whispers. You don't have to die for him. Clink. The dog tags brush his chest as he rises. Now it's just 3 of them. King D clips. And Otis. The fire crackles softly behind the metal door, throwing orange light across the floor. Smoke hangs like a thin veil, turning the gym into a maze of shadows. The fire blocks the main door, Otis says from somewhere unseen. His voice is close now. The only way out is through me. Clips whimpers. Boss. The people watching, they saying this ain't normal. They saying I don't care what they saying. King D snaps, coughing eyes darting. Find him, he fires again. The muzzle flash lights up nothing but smoke. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, Otis continues, voice steady, I will fear no evil. King D turns in circles, gun shaking now. Show yourself, he screams. You hear me? Show yourself. Otis doesn't. He lets the silence work. Lets King D's breathing get louder. Faster. The live stream catches it all, the panic, the sweat, the empty space where a man should be. For thou art with me, Otis says quietly. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Clips sobs. Boss, please. King D backs up until his shoulders hit the ring apron. There's nowhere else to go. Smoke stings his eyes. Fire pops behind him. Darkness presses in front. Then Otis steps into the edge of the moonlight. Just enough to be seen. Not enough to be reached. Dog tags glint once. King D freezes. Otis doesn't raise his hands. Doesn't threaten. He just stands there. Breathing slow. Even. King D fires. The bullet tears through a heavy bag inches from Otis's head. Otis doesn't flinch. Still missing, he says. King D screams and fires again. Click. Empty. The sound is louder than the gunshots. Otis takes one step forward. King D stumbles back, tripping over a fallen rope, scrambling like a cornered animal. Stay where you are, Otis says. Not loud. Not angry. Authoritative. King D freezes. The fire crackles behind the door. Smoke curls around their feet. From the corner, a small voice breaks through. Coach. Lil J. Otis doesn't turn his head. I'm here, son. King D's eyes snap to the boy. A thought sparks. Grab him, King D shouts, lunging. Use him. He gets one step. Otis moves, not fast, certain. The distance closes, and the shadow becomes real. The last goon moves again. Big, broad, breathing hard. He lunges toward Lil J and yanks him upright, one thick arm locking across the boy's chest. The knife flashes up cold and closes its edge, pressing into the soft skin beneath Lil J's jaw. Lil J gasps. His hands clutch at the arm around him, but it doesn't move. King D staggers into the firelight behind them, gun still in his hand. Eyes wild, chest heaving. Sweat and soot streak his face. Otis, he roars into the smoke. I know you hear me. The knife bites just enough to draw a thin red line. Come out. Now. Or I swear to God I'll let him cut this boy's throat, silence answers. Only the crackle of fire behind the metal door. The low hiss of smoke rolling along the ceiling. King D lowers the gun, glances down at it. Empty. His jaw tightens. With a snarl, he fumbles at his waistband, yanking free a fresh magazine. His hands are shaking now. Not rage, fear. He slams the magazine home. The click echoes loud in the gym. Real again. I'm counting, King D shouts, lifting the gun once more. One, Lil J's whole body trembles, but he forces himself to breathe the way Otis taught him. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Coach, he cries, voice breaking. Don't come out. They'll kill you. 2. A shadow separates from the dark. Otis steps forward. No weapon, no rush. He walks into the weak circle of firelight hands, raised palms open. Blood streaks his face. One eye is swollen, nearly shut. His breath is heavy but controlled. Let him go, Otis says. His voice is tired now, stripped down. Honest. Take me. He's just a kid. King D laughs sharp and ugly, but the sound cracks halfway through. Now you want to negotiate, he sneers. Too late, old man. You embarrassed me. He jerks his head toward Clips's phone. On camera. Millions gonna see me take you down. Clips stands frozen nearby phone, still raised, tears sliding down his cheeks. Boss, he whispers. Chat saying we should stop. They saying I don't care. King D screams, keep recording? He nods to the goon. The man shoves Lil J forward and releases him roughly. Lil J stumbles, nearly falling, then scrambles backward toward the corner, coughing, shaking. But the goon doesn't move far. He watches Lil J waiting. King D steps in front of Otis. His fist crashes into Otis's face. Otis drops to one knee. Another punch, then another. To the ribs, to the jaw. Each blow lands heavy, deliberate. Otis does not raise his hands. King D grabs the iron bar from the floor and brings it down across Otis's back. Otis collapses face first onto the wood. Blood pools beneath his mouth. A thin line runs from his hairline into his eye. Still his lips move. Lord, he murmurs, protect this child. Forgive them, for they know not. King D kicks him in the side. Shut up, Lil J screams. Stop, please. The goon takes a step toward Lil J again. Slow, predatory. King D plants a foot on Otis's shoulder and presses the gun to the side of his head. Where's your miracle now, Sergeant? King D pants. Where's your God? Otis lifts his head with effort. Blood drips from his chin. His vision swims, but his eyes are steady. My God, he says softly, is right here with me. Always has been. King D snarls. Then let him save you. He thumbs the safety off. Otis turns his head just enough to see Lil J. His voice softens. Familiar. Remember what I taught you, son, he whispers. Discipline. Beats. Chaos. Lil J sobs, nodding through tears. Yes, coach. The goon moves closer to Lil J, now knife still in hand. King D presses the muzzle harder. You hear that he yells, he's still teaching. Even now, Otis breathes once. Deep, slow. I'm not begging, he says, voice hoarse but calm. I'm praying. For you. Because when you pull that trigger, your soul belongs to him. I don't believe in your God, King D screams. That's your problem, Otis replies. He still believes in you, even now, even after all this. For 1 second, something flickers across King D's face. Doubt, fear, humanity. Then rage crushes it. Shut up, King D roars, striking Otis again. Otis coughs blood, then leans closer, voice low, just for King D. It's not too late. Put the gun down. Walk away. You can still choose mercy. King D hesitates. Just a heartbeat. Then he steps back, furious at himself. Too late for that. He raises the gun. Any last words? Sergeant Otis looks at him. Then his eyes shift, past King D. A faint smile touches his broken mouth. My miracle, Otis says softly, is standing right behind you. King D spins. What? At the same instant, the goon lunges to grab Lil J again. Lil J moves, not fast, not wild, disciplined. He grabs the wet towel from his gym bag, dunks it into the nearby bucket, and hurls it forward with everything he has. The towel slaps across the goon's face. Water blinds him. He shouts, stumbling back, knife arm lifting instinctively. Just long enough. Clips, screams. The live stream explodes, and Otis begins to rise from the floor. King D turns his head. Just a fraction. Just long enough. His eyes snap toward the movement behind him, toward the wet towel flying through the smoke, toward the goon staggering blind, toward the boy who was supposed to be broken and quiet. That's all Otis needs. He explodes off the floor. Pain exists. He feels it ribs, screaming vision swimming, but it doesn't slow him. His body moves on instinct older than thought. Otis sweeps King D's leg, low, hard, clean. King D's feet vanish from under him. He crashes backward, gun flying loose across the floor. Before King D can even reach for it, Otis rolls forward, shoulder hitting wood hands already moving. He doesn't aim the gun. He doesn't hesitate. He grabs it and hurls it through the shattered window in one smooth motion. The weapon disappears into the night. No guns, Otis says, rising to one knee. Just hands. King D scrambles backward, terror naked on his face. You crazy, he pants. You could have shot me, Otis stands. Blood runs down his cheek, dripping onto the mat. His breathing is heavy but controlled. His stance settles naturally, feet grounded, hands up. I don't kill unless I have to, Otis says. But I will put you down. King D backs up step by step without realizing where he's going. Otis cuts the angle. Corner cutting. The ring ropes brush King D's back. He's trapped. The last goon, the one with the knife, rushes in, desperate to save his boss. Otis pivots. Parry. His forearm knocks the knife hand wide. His other hand snaps in locking the wrist. Twist. The knife clatters to the floor. Otis steps in close and drives his elbow across the man's face. The sound is dull, final. The goon collapses in a heap. Now it's just two men. King D and Otis. Firelight flickers behind Otis, smoke curling around him, turning his shadow into something larger than life. Otis advances, jab, jab, not power, measurement. King D flinches, hands coming up too late. Cross. The punch snaps King D's head sideways. He staggers deeper into the corner. Otis steps in, hook to the body. King D grunts, folding forward. Uppercut. The punch lifts King D's chin violently, snapping his head back. Still, somehow, King D stays on his feet. Desperation replaces fear. He reaches down, yanks a small blade from his boot, and lunges. Otis catches the knife hand in midair. Barehanded. His grip locks like steel. He twists. The blade falls. King D cries out as his wrist gives way. Otis steps behind him in the same motion, chest to back arm sliding under the chin. Rear naked choke. Clean. Tight. Professional. King D thrashes, clawing at Otis's forearm, feet scraping uselessly against the mat. Otis leans in, voice low, almost kind. Sleep now, son, he whispers. This is mercy. You don't deserve it. But he does. King D's struggles weaken, his body sags. Otis eases him down carefully, guiding him to the floor so his head doesn't strike the wood. He checks the pulse. Still there. Otis exhales. Clink. The dog tags tap softly against his chest. Outside voices rise, shouting, running. Metal groans as the neighborhood forces the roll-up door open from the street side, bending it enough to crawl under. People flood in. Mrs. Rodriguez, Mr. Baker, Men and women from the block, young, old, black, brown, they see the bodies, the fire, the boy shaking in the corner. They see Otis. No one throws a punch. No one screams. They form a circle. Hands reach out, linking together. Amen, someone whispers. Amen, another answers. Soon the word swells, filling the gym like a wave. Amen, amen, amen. The remaining goons drop to their knees, overwhelmed not by fists, but by numbers, by witnesses, by courage. Sirens cut through the night. Red and blue lights flash through broken windows, painting the smoke with color. 5 police officers rush in, weapons drawn. Hands where we can see them, the captain shouts. Otis raises his hands slowly. The captain freezes when he recognizes him. Coach Johnson, he says, stunned. Sir, we're going to need you to come downtown for a statement. Otis leans back against the wall, exhausted now that it's over. Self-defense, Captain, he says calmly. Castle doctrine. They broke in, armed, threatened a minor, assaulted us. It's all on camera. He nods toward Clips, who stands shaking phone, still recording. The captain takes the phone carefully from Clips. Son, he says, this is evidence. I'm going to need it. Clips nods frantically. It's all there, officer. The whole thing. Live stream. The captain scrolls through several clips, eyes narrowing. The slap, the blood, the threats, the gun. He looks up at Otis. I'm not putting cuffs on you tonight, the captain says. At first glance, this appears consistent with self-defense, especially with a minor involved. Otis doesn't react. He just breathes. That determination isn't mine to make, the captain continues. You'll receive medical attention first. Then we'll take your statement downtown. Otis nods once. Understood. Otis looks past him, eyes locking onto Lil J, who's being held by neighbors, crying into someone's shoulder. Check the boy first, Otis says. The captain studies him for a moment, then straightens. Sergeant Johnson, he says quietly, thank you for your service to our country and to this community. Otis nods once. Just doing what Marines do, Captain, protecting our own. The captain turns to the crowd. Folks, he says loudly, this man saved that boy's life tonight. He's also Gunnery Sergeant Otis Hammer Johnson, Marine Corps Veteran Bronze Star recipient. Show some respect. The room goes silent. Then one by one people salute. Veterans snap to attention. Civilians place hands over hearts. Lil J breaks free and runs to Otis. Otis catches him, arms wrapping tight around the boy. For the first time, Otis closes his eyes, and the tears come. If you believe justice was served tonight, hit like 2 weeks later. Morning comes gentle now. Sunlight spills through the new glass at Hammer's boxing gym, clean and warm, painting the floor in soft gold instead of broken shadows. The air smells like fresh paint, brewed coffee, and leather that hasn't been burned by fear. The gym stands whole again. The community made sure of that. $47,000. That's what the page finally closed at. GoFundMe. Churches. Veterans groups. People who never set foot on this block, but watched the video and felt something old and familiar wake up in their chest. New windows, fresh paint on the walls, heavy bags replaced, floor sanded smooth, and 3 things given a place of honor. By the door hangs a new wooden cross, larger than the old one, polished until it catches the light. Not flashy, just solid. On the center wall, framed and restored, hangs the photograph that once faded into the background. Marine Corps boxing champion, 1975. Otis stands young and unbroken in the picture gloves, raised eyes sharp. Below it, bolted into the wall, a new bronze plaque gleams. In memory of Sergeant Marcus Cole and CPL, Deshaun Ray Brothers in arms, forever in spirit. 6 a.m., Lil J stands in the middle of the gym wearing a shirt that reads, Assistant Coach in crooked white letters. 5 kids line up in front of him, ages 7 to 12, gloves, 2 big eyes wide. All right, Lil J says, trying to sound older than he is. Watch me. He steps in front of the bag. Elbow tight, he says, tapping his own arm. Turn your hip. Power comes from here. He presses a fist lightly against his core. The kids nod. They throw their punches again, awkward, earnest, determined. Lil J moves among them, correcting stances, adjusting feet, his voice steady. Again. Slow. Discipline beats chaos. From the corner of the room, Otis watches. He sits on the old wooden chair, the one thing he refused to replace, coffee cup, cradled in both hands. His fingers tremble slightly around the rim. They still do. Some mornings worse than others. PTSD doesn't vanish just because justice showed up on time. Otis knows that. But when he watches the kids listen, when he hears Lil J teach with patience instead of anger, the tremor quiets enough for him to smile. It's a real smile this time. Soft, unguarded. Wind chimes by the window catch a breeze and ring gently. Peaceful. The door opens. A man steps inside, late 50s, salt and pepper hair, trimmed neat. He wears a simple gray suit, no tie. He stops just inside the doorway, eyes lifting to the plaque. They fill with tears. He walks closer, reads the names, reaches out but doesn't touch. Then he turns. Coach Johnson. His voice is careful, respectful. My name is Marcus Cole, Jr. Otis stands slowly. He studies the man's face, and something inside his chest tightens. You look just like him, Otis says quietly. Same eyes, same jawline. Marcus Jr. nods, emotion breaking through. You served with my father. Otis reaches out. Their hands meet. Otis's tremor is there, but the grip is firm. Your father saved my life at Quezon. Otis says, voice thick. I'm sorry I couldn't save his. Marcus Jr. squeezes Otis's hand harder. You honored him by living well, Coach, by protecting others. He glances toward the kids. He'd be proud. There's a pause. My grandson's 10, Marcus Jr. continues. He's lost, angry, a breath. He needs guidance. Can you help him? Otis looks back at the ring. At Lil J correcting a kid's stance, patient as a preacher. Yes, Otis says. No hesitation. We can help. Later, the sun climbs higher. From outside, the gym looks new again. The sign gleams with fresh paint, hammers Gym St. 1985 below it, new words, faith, discipline, honor. And at the bottom, smaller carved carefully, a soldier protects his flock. Inside, the rhythm continues. Again, Lil J calls. Jab, cross, hook, bags thump, kids laugh, sneakers squeak. Otis sits with his coffee hand, trembling slightly, eyes bright. He looks down at the dog tags resting against his chest, touches them gently. We did good today, brothers, he murmurs. We did good. The camera pulls back. Sunlight pours through stained glass, now newly installed with a small dove etched into the corner. Hope flying quietly. Final voiceover. Otis, people ask me why I fought that night, why I broke my vow of peace. The answer's simple. A soldier never fights for himself. He fights so others can live in peace. That gym, it's not mine. Never was. It belongs to them. To the kids who need a sanctuary. A place where discipline beats chaos. Where faith beats fear. And as long as God gives me strength, I'll stand guard. Not as a warrior anymore. just as a shepherd. Because that's what we do. That's what we've always done. Semper Fi. Amen. The light from the stained glass softens, then withdraws, leaving the screen in deep silence. From that darkness, a different space emerges, cold, narrow, and gray. A prison cell. King D sits on the edge of his bunk. On the small metal table lies a Bible, unopened. He stares at it, long, then reaches out. Opens the cover. Inside, written in careful handwriting, "It's never too late." Coach Otis King D closes his eyes. A tear falls onto the worn page. The image fades, carrying his repentance into the quiet. The world needs more shepherds. Stand watch with us.